So have you considered starting your own business before, or even now?
Yes, I have started my own business. In fact, I have started and ran a business and sold a business, as well as, and that was for a group of companies. And I've also ran my own consultancy, but I also work with businesses that are growing, and I support businesses as well.
Oh, that's really great. That's a lot that you've done. That's a great. And what industry has interested you most as an entrepreneur?
So in my career, what I've learned and what I found really fascinating about this evening is that there are some common streams across businesses. What's different are the people. So the kind of sectors I work with are very diverse. I work with prop tech, fintech, food tech, across the health sector as well. So I do work across a very diverse sectors in what I do.
That's great. So like getting the knowledge from all areas. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. And what's the best piece of advice that you've received?
So you know what, the reflection from this evening's panel and certainly some of the questions is, despite the fact that although I've had all of this experience, I still learned a lot from the panel this evening. And as I said earlier, there are common themes in every business, but there are common themes in every business, but what is different are the people, and it's that group of people that bring the culture, the vision, and the drive to really make a business successful. So even though, as I said, I've had experience of running my own business, I've ran and sold a business, I learned quite a lot from the panel this evening. So it's valuable to come to these events and learn from others, but also to expand and extend on your networks. I've actually met some new people today who I'll be connecting with post the event, and that's expanding on my network. So I found it really, really valuable.
Thank you. I think as we grow as well, we kind of learn a lot of new things, and we're constantly learning as well. And you are, I think, one of the, we've seen a common theme today where a lot of people have said building your connections and building your network is very important. So yeah, no, you're completely correct. And you kind of touched on it already, but what's one thing that you've learned today that's really helped you?
Do you know, I think it's just going back to basics. I think some of those back to basic questions is, if you start a business, what are some of the barriers to you actually making that decision to start? And one of the panel members said, look, you know, a lot of people, they fear failure, but you know, every one of those panel members had experienced some form of failure, but look, they're still there as successful entrepreneurs in their own right. So I think just bringing that back to basics and reconnecting with the fact that it may not be the right business today, but take that step forward, maybe pivot, if not close down. But if you have to make that difficult decision, that very fast and difficult decision to close, that's fine as well. So it was really bringing that back to basics, because we're always about the vision and the opportunities and what the possibilities are, but it's also knowing when it's not really the right business.
Yes.
So that was a good learning curve.
Great, thank you so much. That will be very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, could we, in one short sentence, maybe one sentence is too short, but could we know a bit more about your business?
Yeah, sure. So Funky Bird is a product design business. We design and make cool products for musicians. I myself am a saxophonist, so I'd make saxophone products and stuff. So yeah, it's about employing, you know, fun design principles and eco-friendly, you know, mentalities. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Perfect. And let's talk about the venture competition, because you are one of the winners from 2023. So what was your favorite part from the venture competition?
Yeah, so that was a surprise really, because I just thought I'd enter it mainly because someone basically just told me I should do it on the fly. So I thought, oh, why not? I'll give it a go. Yeah, you never really know. Just enter something, even if you think you haven't got a chance in the world. 'cause you might be surprised. Yeah, it's got a great team, lots of expertise. They'll help you out, and it's just really nice to be a part of, something and not be on your own. Yeah.
Okay, and I'll ask one last question. Now, as a business owner, because you're one of the big wigs now. You're a big guy now. What would you say is the most important thing for anyone who's looking to start a business? We've heard a lot of great info from the event today as a whole, but what would you say is one thing that if you had to just turn around and tell people, like, if you were in my position, like, I was where you were just about to start a business, this is the one thing you need to know?
I don't know. I guess my perspective is quite limited because I'm very new, but I'd probably say try and find yourself some people who will support you and believe in you, and find people who will give you the expertise that you need in order to grow into the person that you want to be.
Well, Louis, as always, it's been a wonderful pleasure. We've got amazing music in the background as well, so it's funny that you mentioned musicians. I won't force you to do to play the sax, but I've heard him play. He's pretty good. I won't even say pretty good. He's amazing. But thank you very much, Louis. It's been great speaking to you.
So let's start with the first question. Have you ever considered starting your own business?
I am actually in the middle of it, so I'm thinking of infusing AI and digital marketing and provide freelance services to different clients.
That's great. And is the freelancing in the same area, so tech, or would that be in a different?
So it is a mix of graphic designing, social media marketing, insight analytics and stuff like that. So you could say that it's a bit tech, but also digital marketing aspect of it. So.
That's great. And what industry has been the one that's interested you the most?
I think I would say AI technology, because it is so fast growing now and we're all so dependent on it that I think it's a good game changer.
Yeah, I agree. I've used ChatGPT quite a lot and a lot of AIs, especially over the past years, coursework and everything. But what's the best piece of advice that you've received?
To never be afraid to fail, because if you keep on failing, that's how you're going to learn. So don't always achieve for greatness, achieve for lessons, and I guess just keep on learning from life, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all learn from a lot of mistakes. We learn more from what we failed from. And what's one thing that you've learned from today's event?
Don't be afraid to go up to people, talk, and make connections, and learn from other people as well. Don't be so confident. Be confident, but not that much. Be open to taking in feedback and comments from people.
Great. Thank you so much. That's very helpful. Thank you.
For a lot of people, this will be a familiar face. He actually came onto the Hustle Chronicles and spoke all about his business. And we even spoke about our favorite comics, which yes, we did promise it. And I promise 2024 will see us talking about comedians, and we will definitely have Sean there. But Sean, for anyone who didn't see the episode, let's have a 30-second summary. What is your business?
About my business? Or I thought we were going right into comedians again. I was like, I've been watching a lot of comedy. My business is, it's called More Connection Co. And I made basically a way for people to make eye contact on video call. And we're trying to integrate that into online therapy and old people's homes, as well as just, selling it online.
Oh, perfect. Now, you were part of the venture competition. You were one of the venture competition winners last year. What would you say was your favorite part of the venture competition? What was that one thing that you think was really cool?
I really like pitching in person a lot. That was the first time that I'd ever done that. And I really like for something that I really cared about. And I really liked it. It was great practice for that.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, I think there definitely is something about being in person and speaking about your business to people who, they've only seen maybe a document, they've seen your 2-minute video pitch, but you're talking to people that have no idea, rather than, I know my family are probably watching and they're thinking he's talked his ear off about pick up the mic and all of this stuff. But yeah, talking to a new group of people about it really highlights things for you as a business owner, which is really good. One final thing is, we've got some entrepreneurs who may be watching. What's your one piece of advice to them? What's one thing you would say, take home with you?
Just probably thing on my mind lately most is just keep going. Just it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you do something every day towards a goal, that's positive movement. So just keep going, I'd say. Like, if you believe in it, that's enough, really. Truly, it is.
It is. No, it is.
Yeah.
Last but not least, if anyone wants to get in touch, what are the best ways for them to learn more about the business?
Yeah, so you can check us out at moreconnection.co, just spelled like it sounds. And then on our website, so we're launching, like, we have an email list. You can sign up to that. Or you can even reserve like your own device and get a discount for our launch. So there you go.
Perfect, thank you. And yes, I can say as someone who has used the device that it's really cool. So make sure that you check it out.
So have you considered probably starting your own business?
Yeah, like right now I'm doing a full-time job as a video producer and a filmmaker, and like I'm planning to do my full-time business, so just came here for the event to have some knowledge.
Okay, great. And I remember you were asking a question in the audience, is that right, earlier? Yeah. So in what area were you interested in starting, like what industry were you interested in starting as an entrepreneur?
The thing is, my goal is to open a production house and a marketing agency. That's my future goal. I want to go in there.
That's great. So once again, what's the best piece of advice that you've been given?
Like, I have like two advice. Like, they have given like a lot of good advices, but I like the two of them. One is to have a good company around you, like good friends, good colleagues, and good mentors who can guide you better for your business and for your future and make you a good person. And second advice is to do a flexible job or maybe a part-time job which can be a bread and butter for you, which you can survive and make your business more successful. Like, if you have money for your tummy, then you can run a good business. So that's the thing. That is what right now I'm doing. So
that's great. That's very insightful. Thank you. And what's one thing that you've learned from today? Obviously, you've asked the question, you've gotten a few answers. Has anything really stuck out to you today?
Like, I was really scared and confused to have a co-founder in my life for a business. But after like attending to this session, I came to know that I think I should have a co-founder, at least an associate founder, so that I can be like more productive. So that is the best thing. Like, they didn't set you directly, but you come to a conclusion in the end. So that is what I learned from this event.
Great, that's very great actually. Thank you and good luck for your business and your ideas. Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much. So let's start with the first question. Have you considered starting your own business?
Yes, I have. I considered starting my own business by creating a law firm, obviously when I'm done my degree, and that's really just my passion in life, to try and get to that point.
Great. And is law the industry that interests you the most, or is there something else in mind?
Law is, because I feel like it's a way for me to help people in a capacity where I have some authority in a way.
Great. And what's the best piece of advice that you've received?
That it's better to try and fail than not try at all. So if you have an idea, you should really just go for it and try your best.
Very insightful. Thank you. And lastly, what's one thing that you've learned from this event today?
That networking is really important, because having the right connections with people in your life, it will help you build a foundation to get somewhere else.
Great, thank you. That's the only three. Thank you so much.
Perfect. We have a familiar face. People may remember all the way back, can you believe it, from our first season. What? Maybe the second one. I think it was the second one. It's been a long year. And it's only just the first month. But yes, we have Paris, who was, I don't think it's best if I just talk about your business. Could we know in 30 seconds what your business is and, its journey?
Yes, of course. So I'm Paris Rivera. I'm the founder of That Good Hair. That Good Hair is a sustainable natural hair care brand catering to men and women with waves, curls, coils and locks, helping them to find the right solution for their hair. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think one important thing is you are a venture competition winner. So, first, could we know a bit about how did you find the venture competition? Was it something that you knew about when you were studying at Brunel? Because, actually, not when you were studying, but I guess when you started Brunel, sorry guys, we're filming. Was this something that you knew at the start? Because I know when I tell a lot of students, the venture competition exists, their minds are blown. They're like, Brunel gives money to businesses for free? Did you know about it from the start, or was this something that came later?
You know what's actually really funny? Oh, hi Simona! Oh, sorry. I actually did know about the venture competition from the very start, before I even applied to Brunel, which is crazy. So I was doing my due diligence. I kind of always knew that I wanted to start a business at some point eventually. And so I was researching about the business support that Brunel offers, and immediately I found what was called the Innovation Hub at the time, and I saw that they do offer competitions, and that actually was my deciding factor to apply for Brunel, crazily enough. And I didn't know that 2 years later that I would actually be winning the competition. But I definitely forgot about it by the time I got here. But when I did have my business idea, I went to the Innovation Hub, spoke to Emmy Bottoman, who was and still is my business mentor, and she told me all about the venture competition.
Oh, thank you. Now, we've been asking all the exhibitors what their favourite part of the competition is. So, what was your favourite part of the competition?
You know what? I think my favourite part of the competition, besides winning, I think my favourite part of the competition were the workshops that kind of came before the actual pitching competition. They taught me so much about how to actually structure a pitch in that very first instance. Since then, I've pitched many times, won different amounts of funding, but that sort of was my foundation in pitching, and I learned it all here at Brunel.
Thank you. And the last question, believe it or not, is there's a lot of businesses here today. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who, are in the audience listening to all this great advice. Now, what would you say is one piece of advice you'd give to someone watching who's thinking, I've got a business idea, or maybe I want to start, or maybe my business hasn't been developing how I want it to be? What would be your one piece of advice to them?
I think there's loads of different questions that you answer. I think if you're trying to start a business, I think knowing that resilience is key. There's going to be loads of different setbacks. There's going to be loads of different times that you're going to have to pivot. And that's normal. It's absolutely normal. But my major piece of advice would be to grow a community, meet other business owners, because that will help you with developing your own business. It's almost like having a baby. If you are a parent and you have a child or you have a baby, if you have friends who don't have children, you're often encouraged to find friends who have children, because a lot of the time you're not a bad mum, you just don't know the things that you should know. And having a business is really like having a kid, in a way that a lot of the time you're not going to know about different competitions you could be applying to, different manufacturers that are cheaper, different ways of entry into your market, or different places where your audience reside. You learn about it through other people. So it's really, really great to kind of work on those people skills, grow that kind of community and network. There's some different paid communities that you can join as well, but really find your people.
Perfect. You heard it here first. Now, before we let you go, maybe some people are watching and they want to know more about the business. They might be able to eagerly see it from the banners around us, but how could they, and the top as well, how could they find out more about the business?
So if you would like to find out more about myself or That Good Hair, please visit thatgoodhair.co.uk, or you can visit us at Westfields. We are on the ground floor outside of Mac Cosmetics. I'm
just saying, you see how you just casually dropped, No, don't mind me. I'm now at Westfield. No biggie. Westfields in Stratford of Y City, okay? The OG Westfields, okay? So you heard it here first. If you're looking for some new hair care products and you want to, have a nice day out at Westfield, White City, come through and see the amazing business. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been great to learn about you and your business. And fingers crossed, if Paris is up for it, having her back on the podcast, because we just realised today is the first time we've actually met in person.
Yeah, I thought we'd met in person from ages ago. Maybe we haven't. You just don't remember me.
Wow.
Oh, cool guy. Oh my god.
Wow. You see how she now flipped on me? Okay, I'll take that responsibility. But yes, it'll be great to have you back on the podcast to learn more.
So let's start. So have you ever considered starting a business as an entrepreneur?
Yes, I've considered, but I'm still at the studying phase, so maybe for the future after graduate. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And in what area have you considered?
The main areas is I'm doing a computer science degree, so probably AI or like SaaS or like depends.
So,
I have a few ideas about that.
okay, so more like the tech side to fit your.
Or even SaaS,
Okay.
software as a service. So yeah, these are the two main fields I would like to focus on.
Nice. And what do you think has been the best piece of advice that you've gotten to start an entrepreneur?
The most is the taking the risk. So the taking the next step of deciding which way to go. For example, because when you graduate, people not confident enough to which way to go. For example, you can either go for a job or you can do a startup. Or so it's all about making the right decision.
So taking a lot of risks and making sure you're just taking that leap of faith into your idea.
Main one.
Yeah. And what would you say is one thing that you've learned today from this event?
The main thing I've learned is having connections and getting help from different organization or different like companies that come here support the students and stuff. So
Yeah. So expanding your network almost and getting those connections.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming. Is there anything else you would like to tell anyone?
I would like to tell anyone, just dream, have a dream. Don't be afraid to take a next step if you believe on it. And yeah, that's amazing.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you. Great. So Victor, what business have you been exploring or have you set up already?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Cardiocrom. We are a neurotech company developing a stroke rehabilitation solution. So our approach is to create a all-in-one system which can be used by the stroke survivors, starting from the hospital bed all the way to the late stages of recovery, which they will do usually at home.
Wow, that's incredible. And would you say that that's the industry that you're most interested in?
Oh, absolutely. For me personally, having an impact is what drives me. Helping stroke survivors, helping people, it's what keeps me going.
That's really nice. Has there been any particular thing that's inspired you to kind of come into this industry?
Oh well, yeah, I think it kind of goes all the way back to early stages. So when I was I think I was 12 years old, I was hospitalized. I had internal bleeding, and I was kind of tied to bed for a couple of months. I was in a critical stage, and it was in a country where the medicine was not so developed. So now and then I would have a medical device by my side monitoring me, and yeah, ever since I saw the opportunity. I saw what that medical machine was doing for me, and I wanted just to bring more of those devices into the world.
That's incredible. I think really taking something that's affected you and seeing it as an opportunity and making it so accessible to so many people that are probably being affected in the same way is really, really incredible. So congratulations, you're doing really well. What's the best piece of advice that you've received in terms of starting your business?
Probably fail fast and fail forward. If you've got an idea, don't keep it to yourself. Don't work on it for months or years before you reveal it to the world. Get it out there, get the feedback, and iterate on it.
Great. And what's one thing from this event? I mean, I know you were one of the panelists today, but is there anything you learned, or is there anything you would like to say to anyone that you didn't get a chance to?
It was, first of all, it was a great event. I really enjoyed it. It's always nice to be back at Brno. Feels very homely. And, one thing I would say to the students: don't be afraid to start. Even if you fail, you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna progress, and the business experience, the struggles will just make you a better and a stronger person.
Great, thank you. And one final thing, is there anything that you would like to put out there about your business, about any advice as an entrepreneur, anything I haven't touched on or anyone else has touched on, but you would like that opportunity to kind of give them?
Yeah, sure. So we're launching this year. We're launching our product in autumn. So if there are any stroke survivors out there who would like to test it before then, if there are any companies, any clinicians who would like to test it out, please reach out to us. We would love to collaborate.
Great, thank you so much. It's really incredible work that you've been doing, and we hope to see you succeed even more in the future with any businesses that you may have coming up, and with this one as well. Thank you so much.
So Connor, you were one of our attendees of today's event. What was your biggest take?
Everyone's just so inspirational. I think I was speaking to someone. It's one of those things that building your business and coming up with the idea is simultaneously the easiest and most difficult thing. I think the harder you try, the less it's going to happen, and you just need that moment, and then it all sort of clicks into place. But it's just so inspiring to see everyone turning a passion into what they do.
Yeah, I like that. Are you thinking of turning a passion into a business?
Depends, you're going to nick it. No, I'm very lucky to have a job that I'm passionate about, but who knows, I could grow that into my own thing.
Okay. And even though you might not be a part of the Entrepreneur Hub, I know that you do a lot of great work with Brunel's BSIP program. So for anyone who's watching who might not know about the program, give yourself a little plug. Hijacking another department's video. What is the program, and why should students get involved?
Oh, it's a fantastic program. So BSIP, Brunel Summer Internship Program, shortened to BSIP, not just a weird noise that we make. But it's one of Brunel's widening participation initiatives. In normal people terms, it's an internship program for underrepresented students, and the reason why we do it is because we look at the graduate outcomes and we realise that the people who we target are the ones year on year who have the biggest gap between the quote-unquote average student, if that's a thing. So I'm really passionate about everyone having a fair and level shot. So that's why we do BSIP. We give them the opportunity that then helps them get placement, helps them then go get a job over a summer that close to the graduate, and then that hopefully leads into their graduation. It's all about being the kickstart of their career.
Okay, and I think this is the most important question I could ask you. Does that mean that BSIP is the best team within the PDC?
Without a doubt, I think we have the best team. Myself, my assistant Joanna, she keeps the world spinning, and Mr. Dave Bebb, he's the best at what he does. Obviously, PDC, we move forward as a wider team, but I think BSIP is just the best. It's fact.
You heard it here first, peeps. You heard it here first.
So to start, have you ever considered starting your own business?
Well, yeah, so I actually have had a few, okay, maybe not a few, 3 businesses that I've started. The first one when I was 17, failed awfully shortly after from lack of proper resources, because I was in school at the time. My school had a lot of restrictions on what you could and couldn't do, so it was very hard to implement a lot of things. I was making and selling phone cases, so that failed maybe 6 months after. I broke even and it went. So yeah, I'm currently thinking of starting a business, but the idea is still an idea, but it's not organized yet.
Okay, fair enough. And what industry has been the one that's interested you most?
Immigration.
Is there any specific reason as to why, or?
Well, both in the UK and Canada and, a bunch of other countries, there has been an increase in immigration. I think post-COVID, there has been a huge increase in immigration, be it education. I know UK universities rely on international student fees to do a lot because they are barely breaking even with domestic fees. There's an increasing need for care workers. Canada currently has an overall work shortage. So I just feel like there's lots of opportunities there to kind of help make this process better for both the immigrants and both the countries that need them.
Yeah, no, that's actually really correct. I think today we've seen a lot of people talk about tech blooming, especially post-COVID, but I think you're the first person that's mentioned immigration, and it's just as, it has just as many opportunities as tech, especially now. And what's the best piece of advice that you've received?
Don't try to wear all hats. Know when to delegate, know when to rest, know when to take action. And you don't have to have all the facts, just kind of do it. Because if you have to wait till you have all the facts, you might miss good opportunities. And I've missed a lot of good opportunities because I was too scared to take action.
So taking risks as well comes a lot with this. And I think, like you mentioned as well, like with your first business, it not going completely your way, like failure is all part of it. But what's the one thing that you've learned today from this event?
Well, I've learned a lot of things from, the logistics and the systematic things. But I think I would say what Chuk said was learn what to prioritize and when to prioritize it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you. Have you considered starting your own business?
I have actually. As I have a business background myself, it's something that I ought to take forward as my career. So I have a really particular niche product that I would love to start in the future years.
Great. And what industry has been the one that is interested you most?
So I've thought about it, and I could only name it down to two. Okay. One is going to be, it's going to be the luxury watch industry, because that is something which I really like watches. So that is number one. Yeah. That's number one. And the second one has to be food prep.
Okay.
Because as a student who has been here for almost 4 years, I think we can understand that food is something that we really lack over here. So maybe if we have like a low budget food truck, having the right amount of cuisine for the majority of people, I think that would be a really good business opportunity to look forward to.
Yeah, that's right. Especially as students, a lot of students rely on food prep and everything. But what's the best piece of advice that you've received?
The best piece of advice that I've received is actually from my father. Okay. He told me, never get betrayed or betray anyone. That's the best piece of advice that he has given me. And it resonates with me in all type of fields. If you're trying to do anything in life, if you're trying to start a business, start it with the uttermost honesty, with passion, and with a vision that you have for your business. So I think this is the best piece of advice that my father has given me, and I would give to the world as well.
That's great. I think kindness does always get repaid. So from the event today, what's one thing that you've learned?
From the event, the first thing I have learned is that if you're trying to start your business, one of the main factors has to be networking. Because you might have a dream, you might have a vision, but you need the right people to make that vision a reality. The journey from 0 to 1 is easier if you have the right people in your corner. So networking would definitely be my top take from this event.
Great, thank you. I think networking has been a very, very popular theme today. I think it's something that a lot of people, it's one thing anyone takes away from this video would be to network and get the right people, get the right connections. But Abdullah, you're also the president of the Entrepreneur Society. So is there anything that maybe some people, the viewers that are out there can take away and maybe come to you for help or anything?
Definitely. So we are a society who are based on the sole love for entrepreneurship. And we have events which are across the board, from networking to icebreakers to a replica of Dragon Den as well. So we try to be a fun society. We are looking for members who would join us in our journey. And if you want to sign up, you can sign up anytime you want.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. have you ever considered starting your own business?
Yes, I have, and I've had a business before.
Okay, what business have you had?
Okay, so when I was in Nigeria, because I'm from Nigeria, I noticed that students struggle to get educational materials, and they were expensive. So I started an online platform where we sold books at an affordable rate, and it was easier for students to get textbooks. We made quite reasonable amount of money, got $1,500 investment, and then left everything and came over to the UK.
Oh, that's great. So what industry do you think has been the one that's interested you most?
Currently, I'm currently doing my master's in physiotherapy at Brunel here, and I see there's a very huge potential in the health tech industry, because there are a lot of we have the population is aging and we need a lot of medical support. So if we can invest in technology that would help to prevent some of these illnesses, that is a very big opportunity I see in the health tech space. Technology to prevent illnesses.
I think you're right. I think especially with COVID and everything, we've definitely seen a bloom in technology. So yeah, I would agree. And what do you think is the best piece of advice? If you started your own business before, considering maybe starting one now, what's the best piece of advice that you've received to do all this?
Best piece of advice, I would say, I have two advice actually. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Two advice, okay. The first one would be separate yourself from the business. You are not your business. That's like one of the major lessons I've learned. And the second thing is the importance of accounting. Yeah. When I started my business, I kind of struggled with that at the beginning. And so make sure you have good accounting system in place for your business, and that way your business will be able to scale and you're not eating into your business.
Great, thank you. And just last question, you attended the event today. What's one thing that you've learned from today?
Okay, so one thing I learned that was very important was what Victor said. He said there's a difference between building a product and building a company, and I agree with that 100%. You need to be able to know the difference between the business you're building and the product your business is producing. For example, the iPhone is a product, not the Apple company. So when you start out building a product, but you need to know that this is a product, and then you still need to build a company. I don't know if that's.
No, you're right. I think that links back to the advice that you said you've received as well. That was the best. This separating yourself from the company and the product. Exactly. Yeah. That's the end of the interview. Thank you so much. Thank you. You are the founder of Robotics. Is that correct?
That is correct. So Robotics is a construction 3D printing company. So we're developing autonomous concrete 3D printers to kind of automate the majority part of the construction.
And is this the industry that has interested you the most?
So I come from an electrical background and robotics, so that's kind of more interest. And I fell in love with 3D printing back in 2012, when it was kind of just starting off. And I think the technology is just amazing. Like, you have your own factory at home. So that's how it started with my first printer. And then to kind of see the potential it can benefit construction, kind of led me to developing the technology further and kind of scale it up for the construction industry.
Great. And would you say it was your background, like your degree, that's kind of inspired you to start this? Or was there something that was already there but just kind of sparked?
That's a good question. I think it's a combination of both, right? Because I loved engineering since a young age. So I think kind of to be doing something I like and I love kind of definitely gave me that motivation to go for it and try out.
Great. And what's the best piece of advice that you've received or that you've learned from this, from building your own business?
I would say I think it's just having the courage to try and to take that first step and to kind of develop something. Even if it's a small product, start somewhere. No one's kind of that big. No one starts that big. So I think start one step at a time and see how it goes. You never lose until you try.
And did you win the venture competitions as well for Brunel, right?
Yes, that's correct. Won it last year.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations, first of all. But what kind of pushed you to go for that venture competition, and what kind of exposed you to that? And what can the students or anyone else that's trying to get into the entrepreneurial side of things, what can they kind of take away from what you've learned?
Yeah, I think for the venture competition, it was our first sort of competition we kind of applied for and went through.
Okay.
So I think it kind of made us realize, wow, that's something real, right? So we kind of turned something into something tangible. We can actually grow and scale. So I think it's having that push from external sort of judges that can tell you, validate the idea, the concept, and the fact that we kind of won as well kind of shows that, okay, we have something here, we should kind of continue and try further.
That's great. And would you say there's anything that you've learned from this event today? I know you've already grown your business, but we're constantly learning. So is there anything that you've taken away from this event?
Yeah, I think so. A lot. I mean, the panels were amazing. I think in terms of the advice they have. And I think it's kind of knowing that everyone goes through the same sort of cycle, right? It's not easy. Obviously, it's not an easy journey. And it's just the fact that you should try, right? To take the risk.
Great. And is there anything that you would like to maybe expose to everyone else about your business, about any upcoming business ideas that you may have? It kind of, I guess, expose yourself in a way.
I appreciate that. So we've been in robotics, so we kind of solely focused on this business and 3D printing in general. So we do both prototype. So if you're a student, need help with prototyping your product, we're more than happy to help. Just you can email us anytime, and we'll be have you been through the journey, you know how to make things. So I'm looking at the construction sector. If you're a design student or architectural design student, I want to explore the field, please get in touch, and we'd love to kind of see where you can show your project.
That's great. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. I think a lot of students really need that support and to kind of know who to kind of get in touch with and always have that first-hand reached out to them. Is there anything that you can any advice that you can give anyone out there?
I think in terms of just follow what you like. I think definitely try a lot of things, kind of build yourself in terms of the skill set, the things you can do. Try different things. Like, don't be stuck to one thing. Especially as uni, I think try different skill sets. Go to different webinars, seminars. See what you really like, and then if you find it, hopefully, you never know, it could turn into a business.
Business successful like yours, yeah.
Hopefully we're building our way there.
No, that's great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for today.
Thank you so much.
Yep. So to start, have you ever considered starting your own business?
I have considered starting my own business. I used to be in a functions band, so I play an instrument, and actually we had a business in terms of a functions band going around into lots of different parts of London and the southeast, playing corporate functions, playing weddings, all those sorts of things. So I have had one of those. I always have business ideas though that come up to me in the middle of the night as well, so there's lots of other things bubbling around, but that's probably the closer thing I've got to starting my own business.
That's great. And you mentioned you play an instrument. What kind of instrument do you play?
So I played two instruments. So at school I did a lot of classical music. So I played the trombone, so the one with the big slide. So I did lots of orchestral playing, big band playing. I did jazz, all sorts of things. But I ended up playing in a functions band, which is basically a trombone, trumpet and sax. So the horn sections, things like Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, those sorts of things as well. So a bit of a kind of a show band.
Oh, that's really great. What industry has been the one that's interested you most, music or anything?
So if I'm completely honest, my dream when I was younger was to start up. I love water sports and sailing, and my dream was to run a kind of water sports activity adventure place somewhere really hot, somewhere like in the Caribbean. So that was the kind of the idea that I had to start my own business. Could I do that? Maybe teach people, then maybe move on to kind of sailing and kind of bigger boat sailing and help kind of develop a whole kind of marina kind of complex as well. So that's another idea that I potentially had. So always lots of ideas.
That's great. So what's the best piece of advice that you've received?
Just go for it. And I think actually we had on the panel event today that lots of people have lots of ideas. I know lots of people have been on entrepreneurship courses, but at some point you have to start, and you're never going to be absolutely ready. So you just have to take the step and just go for it. So I'd say, as Nike says, just do it and start. Don't put it off any longer.
That's great. I think we're going to see John starting a few businesses tomorrow, the ones that have been bubbling at the back of you.
Definitely. There's always lots bubbling in the background.
What's one thing that you've learned from this event today?
So I've been inspired, and I think a big thing is around resilience, and a big thing is about you're never going to be the expert in everything. Play to your strengths and know that what the skills that you have are unique, and actually use those skills as your kind of business idea to develop. And don't worry about the rest of the skills, because there'll be other people that can complement you if you recruit people, or if you can get extra help. But play to your strengths and know that the skills you've got are going to help you shine as a kind of entrepreneur.
That's great. Thank you so much. So let's start with the first question. Have you considered starting your own business?
I have, only in the sense of freelancing though, so working by myself, which I do alongside my work at Brunel anyway.
Great. And what industry has been the one that's interested you the most?
The tech industry, because it's one of the fastest moving, most interesting industries as far as I'm concerned. Constant change, and it's great to be involved.
That's great. We've had a lot of students interested in tech today. What's the best piece of business advice that you've received?
Probably the best piece of business advice I've received, because my background's in sales and business development, is to network and network and network and then network again, make connections, build relationships and build on those to build business.
Very repeated today, very themed today. But what's one thing that you've learned from today's event then?
What I've learned from today's event is that it's always good to remind yourself that there are different perspectives out there on whether it's how to start a business, how to run a business, and to learn from them.
You have your own business. We've heard a little bit from you as a panel speaker. So what is it about? What is your business?
So, digital art mainly. There is a second one, but we've kind of put that to the side for a little while just so I can focus on building and growing the digital art. So I would say mainly that for now.
Great. And what industry has been the one that's interested you the most?
Industry. I'm a creative. I love anything, the creative industries, everything to do with that. There are small little ideas that I get for things that are more techie, but that's kind of above my remit at the moment. So we'll branch into that at some point, but mainly the creative industries.
Great. And what's the best piece of advice that you've received in terms of growing your business?
Oh, what is the best piece of advice that I've been given from growing my business? Oh my gosh. Let me think. If you want to be able to show people that your product is worth what you'll be charging for it, you have to ensure that quality, whether that's in you growing yourself, if it's something that comes from you, if it's bespoke, like it's a piece of clothing or it's a piece of art, you have to make sure that the quality of that is good. So whether that's you investing in courses, whether that's you upping the equipment that you're using, but just dedicate the time and sometimes the resources. And I understand that not everybody can do that, but where you can, just try and upgrade the resources. You know, I always say University of YouTube is an amazing place. YouTube is literally a free masterclass in many, many, many things. You can find thousands, if not millions of videos in teaching you how to do the kind of thing that you're looking to do. So if money is an issue, look at the University of YouTube in terms of building your skill set there. But if not, try and invest in courses with those that are masters in the industry that can allow you to grow your craft. Because at the end of the day, it's that kind of thing that shows the legitimacy of the price point that you're putting behind it.
Great. And I know you've mentioned a lot about quality. I think that's been something that's been very repeated throughout your words today, especially when you're speaking earlier as well. You said your main focus at the start was just quality, buying the quality fabrics and everything. So I know a lot of students, when they will start with not necessarily things that are quality, but things they can afford. And so why was that the main focus for you? Why did you choose to start with quality rather than growing with your business and trying to get that client base?
I think it's important because the market is already saturated. There's so much out there. And I think if you want to be able to set yourself apart, there has to be something to do that. You're a unique person and what you bring to the table is very unique. But in terms of an audience that doesn't know you and won't necessarily see that off the bat, there has to be something else to show that differentiation. And if that's quality, then let that be quality. It could be your art style if you're an artist. It could be your marketing type. It could be your tone that you use. For me, it was just like, I know that, okay, if I have an apparel business that I want to grow and I want to make scrunchies, I want people to feel beautiful. I want to create products that feel like they're luxurious and feel like they're quality. So that's what I decided to do.
Great. And you mentioned something that sets you apart. Would you say quality is something that sets you apart, or what sets you apart in this industry?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go for both businesses. I would say in the digital art space, I think my art style and what I'm trying to create. So I think I'm different from a lot of digital artists in the sense that I create art collections alongside anything that I'm kind of doing in terms of merchandising, logos, wedding monograms, that kind of thing. I really want to be able to create art that stands the test of time. And that's through my perspective, that's my lens, and that's what makes me unique in that space. I'd say in terms of the apparel, what makes me unique? I don't know, I guess every kind of creative has a way that they see the world, a way that they see art pieces and clothing come together. And that's, I guess, what I bring to the table in that way. I think there's a lot of pieces out there that you can find, like scrunchies, satin bonnets, but I make my stuff bespoke. It's from my hands. I don't source anything from anywhere, so you know that what you're getting is a one-of-a-kind product, essentially. And that's, I guess, my unique selling point.
Thank you. I'm so sorry if that was a really mean question or anything. But yeah, no, thank you so much. And what would you say is the best, well, not the best piece of advice, but what can you tell the students, audience, anyone trying to come into this entrepreneur role, what's something they can learn from you?
I would say that, I don't know, I think I want to talk to the people that are good at a lot of things, where like you're great at this, great at this, great at this, great at that. It's like, oh, you can write, you can dance, you can act, you can sing. I would say try and hone it in a little bit. And I'm not telling you to forget about the talents that you've got, but we have to look at it in terms of how lucrative this is. And not every talent has to become monetizable. Like, keep something for yourself, but look at what you can grow from. Don't just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Try and be more strategic and think about, okay, what do I love doing? What can people benefit from? And what can I assure will be 100% on the ball each time? Try and take it from that standpoint and then hone in, okay, if it's singing and you want to offer your services, then look at, okay, that's fine. This is something that I'm really good at. I'm passionate about it. I love it. I can grow from this, then go with that. I would say that for people that are good at many things, sometimes it can feel overwhelming because you feel like I'm just like, and it's like, I'm not to be like prideful or anything, but it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just good at so many things. But at the same time, that is life for a lot of people, and you don't necessarily know where to start. I would say look at what you're strongest at and what you always lean towards doing the most.
Great, thank you. A few final questions before we go. I know I'm keeping you a bit long. But what's one thing that you've learned from today? I know you were a panel speaker, but maybe you learned something from the other speakers, or something that you enjoyed. What's one thing for you?
One thing that I enjoyed was, for me, kind of being kind of on the younger side of the panel, and just hearing from people that are just more experienced and further along in their journey, and hearing the honesty from people. I think it's very easy to go to those TED Talky kind of events where it's like, this was great and that was great, and even though I failed, I still had £1 million ROI, and it's like, that's amazing. But these are people that have been through times where they've had to shut down businesses. They've been through times where they've had to pivot, and I think it's these kind of transparent moments that give you a realistic perspective and say, okay, even though this did happen, this isn't necessarily failure. If I do shut down this business, it doesn't necessarily mean failure. And even if it does spell failure, it doesn't mean the end. It may be, okay, this business didn't work out. This business could have potentially technically failed, but that doesn't mean that I, as a result, am a failure. It doesn't mean that I have nothing left to offer. It's great hearing from people that are further along in their journey that they don't allow those moments to define them, and that they can come back stronger from them.
Incredible, thank you. And one final thing, I want you to use this opportunity to kind of put yourself out there, touch on anything I haven't brought up or anyone else has spoken, but that you really want to put out there, and are really eager to kind of expose about yourself.
Okay, so in September of 2023, I released an art collection called Gilead, and that is available on my social media channels. Currently migrating to the website, but until the website is ready, you can find that at Nix Graphics on Instagram, NIXGRAPHIXX. I hope you enjoy it. It's a 10-piece collection, and it means a lot to me.
Great, thank you so much, and good luck with your business and everything in the future. I hope you keep succeeding.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview as well.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you.